You're listening to Just Hit Play with your hosts, Peter and Nick Cabral. If you're tired of your stagnant, streamed music feed, then strap yourselves in for an intergenerational sonic journey through Peter and Nick's favorite songs.
Welcome to episode 98 of Just Hit Play. I'm your host, Peter. With me is Nick. Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I've had a busy last week. I've been up to a lot. And it's all been lots of fun. I've been having a really good time. And also binge watching Succession, my new favorite show. I don't know if you've seen it, but God, what a show.
I have not had the pleasure of watching that show yet. It is on my list, so I should get to it hopefully soon.
Yeah, it's also been on my list for a while. I had it bookmarked for like when school was done and I was in the summer that I would start watching it. And yeah, it's fantastic. It's like Game of Thrones, but set in a modern day like context of like media empire and all of that. It's great. It's really good.
Do you know Ted Lasso just ended?
Right.
I hated the last episode.
Okay, no spoilers because I'm like 4 episodes behind.
Okay, yeah, no spoilers at all. But it got really sentimental and sappy, and yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the last episode. Love the show, love the series. Disappointed in the last episode.
All right, good to know. Good to know. Yeah. I'll go in with minimal expectations then.
Yeah, no, people seem to like it. I don't know. Maybe I'm cynical. Maybe I have a cold heart. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was a little silly.
Well, other than the TV. I'm watching. I'm also just doing my best to avoid choking on the toxic fumes and smoke that are permeating Toronto and most of the eastern seaboard right now. So that's been a good time. Yeah.
Well, it's good that global warming is a hoax and that, that wildfires have nothing to do with global warming. It's just coincidence.
I actually heard that the fires were started by climate activists who want people to think that climate change is to blame. So it's really, my understanding is that they're actually false flag wildfires and there's nothing to be concerned about. Yeah.
In case you didn't know, that was sarcasm in my voice. I firmly believe in global warming, so I was just being sarcastic. Obviously, these wildfires have everything to do with global warming. I was just being an ass.
Yes.
Yes. I hope that came across. And in our Brisbane studios, not choking on fumes, is Darren. Darren, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm guessing you're not choking on fumes. I could be completely wrong, but I'm going to go on a wild limb and say you're not.
No, beautiful blue, clear skies out the window.
All right, my assumption was right. Are you ready to get into some music?
I am. Let's go.
Okay, I'm excited for you. So this is pretty much not exactly our 2-year anniversary, but pretty close to our 2-year anniversary. There were some episodes we missed where we couldn't record in some weeks, so it's a little bit delayed. In our first episode, I got you to listen to T-Rex, and you heard T-Rex for the first time. And I got you to listen to a bit of a more obscure T-Rex song. Not obscure, but not the best-known song, Cosmic Dancer. And now, in episode 98, I got you to listen to one of their best-known songs, 20th Century Boy. And before we get into it, Darren, just hit play. There is 20th Century Boy. And can you believe that song is 50 years old? That came out in 1973, that song.
Yeah, wow, good year in 1973.
Pretty good year, pretty good. I was also born in 1973. That's why I'm saying it's a good year. Okay, so, invention of glam rock, pretty much. T-Rex, Mark Bolan wrote the song, like I said, in 1972, released in March of 73. What are your thoughts?
Incredible track. I absolutely love it. I can't listen to the song without smiling and just like being happy because of how good it is. And this I think immediately jumped into the upper echelon of songs that you've got me listen to on this podcast. It's wonderful, and honestly, it's hard to believe almost that this song was made by the same band that made Cosmic Dancer. They seem like very different songs to me.
Yeah, so different. This is what T-Rex is known for. They're a glam rock band. They're a party band. Such good early stuff. Like I said, this came out in the early 70s. Really defined the age. They were so popular in England at this point. This song charted well in Europe and a little bit in Australia, but in Canada a little bit. In North America, it was just oblivious. In America, the song was oblivious, and this didn't chart at all. In America, it was much more of a European English thing.
Why do you think that is, that it never made its way overseas?
I think obviously technology had a lot to do with it. This definitely wasn't the sound that was permeating through the States at the time. I just think it was a technology thing. It was harder to get imports from from England over to America probably at the time. It's really easy now, obviously. But that's probably the big reason. It was maybe a little bit too advanced for Americans as well. I'm sorry if you're an American and I'm saying that this music was too advanced for you in 1973. But that's my guess.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And so they made Cosmic Dancer after this? Like, it was a later song?
I believe Cosmic Dancer was released after this song.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a pretty big gap in terms of the sound between those two tracks. So I can imagine there's a lot of change and evolution for the band's lifetime.
I think, which is one of the reasons why I love Cosmic Dancer so much too, is because it's so different than this T-Rex, which is the more popular T-Rex. Cosmic Dancer just fits that little niche where it's such a it's such a weird song for the band that released this song to be able to do Cosmic Dancer.
Yeah, 100%. It's weird in a sense. I agree.
Yeah. I don't want to go too much into T-Rex because obviously I talked about them a lot in episode 1. And if you do want to know more about Mark Bolan and T-Rex, please go listen back to episode 1. Hopefully you can see the trajectory of how much better we are at this podcast as well if you go back and listen to episode 1. Obviously Mark Bolan died very early in a car accident. So his life was ended very, very quickly and shortly, unfortunately. But we do have some lovely music to remember him.
Yeah. I've loved the only 2 T-Rex songs I know. I love them both. I think they're great.
Yeah.
This one I love for different reasons. Like, obviously Cosmic Dancer is a different track. This one is, I think you said it perfectly. It's like a more of a party type vibe. It's like really energetic and upbeat and in your face. A lot of cool production elements to it as well. Just so high energy, and that's what I love about it. And like, I could see myself if I took a time machine back to the 70s, like dancing in a club to this song, and I think that's really cool. It's a cool song.
Do you know what I find fascinating about doing this podcast is obviously I do a little bit of research into these songs and I get to know these songs a lot better than I thought I did. And this is a perfect example where I thought Mark Bolan was singing a completely different line than he's actually singing. So I'm going to read out the line to you and what I thought he was saying. Friends say it's fine. Friends say it's good. Everybody says it's just like rock and roll. Okay. Do you agree that's what he says?
Yeah, I think so.
That is not what he says.
Okay.
So here's what he actually says. Friends say it's fine. Friends say it's good. Everybody says it's just like Robin Hood.
Huh.
I did not hear Robin Hood. I always thought he said rock. I always thought he said rock and roll. That's how, when I would sing to the song, I would always say rock and roll.
I think in that instance, Mark Bolan was getting the lyrics wrong. I think you were right.
Exactly. No, I think so too. I think
he was singing it wrong.
Yeah, rock and roll is a better line.
Yeah. You were just filling in the blanks and came up with something better. No offense to T-Rex and Mark Bolan, but like rock and roll it sounds better. Robin Hood, like what's Robin Hood got to do with it?
At this song? There's a hint in this song to Muhammad Ali, where Mark Bolan sings "Stings Like a Bee," and that's obviously a famous line from Muhammad Ali. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. So he did lift a little bit from what Muhammad Ali said that in 1969. So there's a little bit of that, and apparently he lifted a few lines from different famous people to be put in this song.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah,
a lot of homages, and yeah, I mean, if they're iconic enough lines, then they'll still be remembered and won't date the song. Which, the
Yeah.
Muhammad
Yeah.
Ali, obviously still known.
Still known. Great song. Like I said, it's one of those amazing recordings. T-Rex was inducted in, I believe they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame pretty early on, just for their impact on music. Not usually the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame will induct you into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for impact of music or longevity of the artist. They were inducted, I believe, for probably couldn't have been for longevity because he died so young. So it would have been to the impact they had on music. That's why they were inducted.
Cool. Well, I think that was well deserved. As I said, love what I've heard from them so far. And yeah, I think I'll have to do some independent exploration of T-Rex, we'll say.
Well, here's the dilemma that we have, because obviously I want you to hear T-Rex, but I also want you to hear T-Rex when we listen to the podcast. So I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should tell you, yes, please go out and listen to T-Rex, or no, hold on, don't, because I want to play you some more T-Rex.
Can I just get one album? Like, surely there's like deep cuts that you can pull out.
Yeah, okay, listen to this album.
Okay, this album?
Yeah.
I
can't remember the name of the album. I can't remember the name of the album, but look it up, whatever song this album's from.
Because when I went to go listen to the song on Apple Music, it came up under like the soundtrack of a movie.
Yeah,
this was featured
they're used in a lot of movies. Now, this came out as a one-off single, so it might not be part of an album, actually. It could be just a one-off single.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. I'll dig.
Yeah, take a look and see. Okay, I'll tell you what, don't listen to a song called Bang a Gong, because that definitely will be the next song I get you to listen to. So just listen to everything but that.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, cool. How about you, Darren? Have you ever heard this song before? And I'm guessing you have. And what did you think?
I must have, because it did sound familiar. I didn't recognize the name, though. But, yeah, I did like it. It's nice.
Yes, gotta love glam rock in the beginnings, the very infancy of glam rock with T-Rex.
Yes, thank you for this one. It was good.
Cool. All right, let's get into some Frank Ocean, shall we?
Yeah, so just as you kicked off this podcast with T-Rex, Cosmic Dancer, I had you listen to Frank Ocean, the song Nights. Now, for our 2-year anniversary, I wanted to kick it back to his first album, Channel Orange, and the song Pyramids. It is, in my opinion, one of the best songs he's ever made. I think it's one of the best R&B songs ever made. It's a 9-minute long epic that spans centuries of history and is just an incredible song. So Darren, why don't you just hit play on Pyramids by Frank Ocean.
Set the cheetahs on the loose. There's a thief out on the move.
All right, so this is a big song. There's a lot to unpack, a lot to touch on, but just briefly, tell me what you thought of Pyramids. Was it worth the 9 minutes? Do you think it's a good song? Do you like it?
All right, I'm conflicted with this song. I definitely like Nights better. I thought that was a better song. I wanted to like this song more than I actually did. It started really, really promising, and it just didn't go anywhere. I found it a little boring. Now, I do have. Let me stop myself there. As a one-off, and not listening to this as a piece of art connected to the album, I found it a little bit boring.
Interesting.
It just never went many places. It just stayed at its pace, and it didn't really catch me.
Okay, interesting take. I definitely agree that it's a song that benefits from the context of the album,
right?
Especially lyrically, like it just works really well lyrically with themes of the album. But for me, I think I don't even know what I like so much about this track, what I like the most.
Yeah.
I'm torn between the fact that the production is, in my opinion, immaculate. Like,
Sounds great. It sounds fantastic.
I think the production gets better every time I listen to it.
Yeah.
And just today, when I was researching for this episode, I found out that the drums at the beginning of the song are the drums from the prior track on the album, played in reverse. So
okay.
There's a lot of little details like that are really cool. But yeah, it's really just those like synth stabs that I love so much, especially in the first half. Which is the whole other thing. This song is 9 minutes long, and it's divided into two massive halves, musically speaking.
Right.
Did you have a preference between which part of the song you liked more?
When John Mayer, and I guess you're going to talk about John Mayer, when he comes onto the track, I was expecting him to lift the track with a guitar solo, but the guitar solo was so boring. Usually guitar solos will, tear your face off, and he's a really good guitar player, John Mayer, so technically he could have done it. But the solo matched the song, which was disappointing me too.
And then as far as like the like ancient Egypt versus the modern day halves, though, like which did you like better?
I probably like the beginning part.
The beginning part, where he's talking about
half,
Cleopatra running through the desert and everything.
Yeah, I kind of probably like that better. Yeah, I could, and in the video I watched, there's a part of the video where the bartender is mixing him a drink, which is obviously absinthe, and I think the drugged out melody of how it's sort of, he doesn't get excited, he doesn't exert himself. I think that probably is telling for the song as well. He seems to be muddling through it. And thankfully, you sent me a live version of the song, which was recorded on SNL, which I liked a lot better than the studio version.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get to that. I just want to talk for a little bit about the themes lyrically of this song, which are really, there is a lot to unpack. And there's a lot of different interpretations. One of my favorite podcasts, the Dissect podcast, they do each season of the podcast is an album, and they did a season on Channel Orange where they do an hour-long episode per song, deep diving on everything about it.
That's a deep dive, yeah.
Pyramids they did in 2 hour-long episodes, and so I re-listened to that in preparation for this podcast, and essentially the whole song, the concept of the song is like charting the history of the black woman throughout time, starting with ancient Egypt and Africa, Cleopatra, obviously a black woman, a black queen of Egypt, and it just follows her journey running away with Mark Antony and all that. And being chased and seen as this like symbol and queen and all of that, which is really cool. Love all the stuff happening with like the being chased by the army in the desert. I find it evokes really cool imagery. And then the idea behind the second half, it goes to modern day, and the narrator, Frank Ocean's character, I guess, is dating this stripper / prostitute in Las Vegas, and he's broke, living in a motel room, and basically like his stripper / prostitute girlfriend is paying his bills for him. And that's sort of meant to represent like the way like black women have been mistreated throughout history, and their role in society has been downcast or made like worse off than they were historically in Africa. So it's just cool themes. I think it's interesting to see an artist take such a big swing at a song like this.
Cool. Now, let me apologize first, but I am going to be this guy, and please, I'm sorry to be this guy. Cleopatra wasn't black. No, she Ptolemy, who was she descended from Ptolemy, who was a soldier with Alexander the Great, who took over Egypt, and then they all intermarried within themselves. So brothers were marrying sisters, trying to keep up with the Egyptian sort of thing. So she's Greek. But I don't want to be that guy, because obviously she's associated with Egypt, and Egypt is in Africa, so she is an African woman. But technically, she's Macedonian.
All right, fair enough. Thank you for the correction.
No,
for the sake,
but I
for the
don't.
sake
I
of the
don't want to be
song-
that guy. Yes, exactly right. I don't want to be that guy.
For
Yes,
the,
go
for
on,
the sake
please.
of, for the sake of the song, she's still
Yes.
black in my head.
She is. Okay, cool.
Just because the song wouldn't work without that. Yeah.
And I was like, and I was struggling. I was like, do I be that guy? Am I going to be that guy? And I was like, yeah, I guess I am.
Fair
If
enough.
you weren't
Honestly-
going to be that guy, I would have had to have been that guy. So
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't fact check anything, so yeah.
No,
go crazy.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, there's a whole controversy because there's a Cleopatra show on Netflix, which I believe is a black woman, and a lot of people are upset because again, she wasn't black, she was Macedonian, Greek, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, there was a lot of controversy with the Netflix Cleopatra show.
Anyway, now that we've got our facts straight, I think above all else, the song is just really, really impressive to me lyrically. It's a song that when I first listened to it, I was 13, 14. And I didn't really know that songs in this genre could sound like this, that you could make a 9-minute long epic with a heavy focus on storytelling and have it sound like hip-hop or R&B. And for that reason, I think this is a really special song.
Yeah, I get it, and it's a really well-made song. Lyrically, it's wonderful. I just wish it just reached just another level. I was joking with Angie about the song, and I was like, he seems really bored. In another live version I watched, he had headphones on in the live version. I'm thinking, oh, you're in front of a live audience. Why do you have headphones on? But again, I'm being very disingenuous here. And then he gets John. Go ahead.
The headphones in his live performances, they're just for the vibes, like for his outfit. They just match with his outfit.
You see, I was like,
It's purely an aesthetic thing.
oh, it takes me away from it just takes me away from the show. Just the headphones. Again, I'm being very, very old school. And then he picks John Mayer, who's probably the most boring man alive, to play on this song. And I was like, he could have got Josh Groban to come on and just been a trifecta of boring.
Not Josh Groban.
So I thought
Anyone but that guy.
I was struck with Angie. I was like, if he got Josh Groban, it would have been perfect. They would have got the boring trifecta out of the way. So I don't know. I just wish the guitar solo took it somewhere, or just it reached another level. I was just waiting for it, and I was just waiting for 9 minutes, and it just never came.
You didn't happen to listen to this song high, did you? You didn't try it like
No.
that? Yeah.
No, I didn't.
That's probably that may be why you find it boring and it didn't really do much for you.
It could be, yes.
Yeah, and you don't really like R&B music that much to begin with, if I remember correctly.
See, I don't mind this kind of R&B. I really hate the "Baby, I'm Your Lover" R&B music, because I think that is so. It's just lying how much they love their woman, because they like a lot of women.
It's true, yeah.
So I like the honesty aspect of it. And again, we talked about what is a soul song and what is soul music. This is definitely soul music because he's bearing a lot here. I just wanted it to go a little bit more somewhere.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've pretty much said my piece. We've talked about Frank Ocean at length on this podcast.
Yes.
It's the third song now. Yeah, and I don't even have the energy to touch on his recent Coachella controversy, so we're not even gonna go there and talk about that.
That's fair. It's artists are complicated. They do a lot of things that we don't understand or that we just don't like. So yeah, a lot of artists are very complicated people.
Yeah, if we started talking about Coachella, we'd have to add another hour to the podcast. I've got a lot to say about that, but
sure, no problem.
Anyway,
yeah. I just wish there was a little bit more to the song.
Yeah, that's fair. I think this is R&B's version of Bohemian Rhapsody. I think it's honestly, I think it's a better song than Bohemian Rhapsody. Honestly,
yeah. I wouldn't go there. Yeah.
In my rankings, this is probably a top 20 song I've heard in my lifetime.
Okay.
For me, ever, across all genres. But it's okay that it didn't hit the same for you.
No, it
That's
did.
okay.
It didn't hit. It did hit it. It didn't hit for me at all. No.
That's okay. And Darren, how did this song hit for you?
Too long.
Too long. Yeah, it is quite long.
Yeah.
It is quite long. And you liked the SNL performance?
I did. I thought, again, I liked the performance too, because I like the dual microphone where there was different vocal effects for the microphone on top gave him a different vocal effect. I thought that was really smartly done, where the aesthetics element of it was brilliant.
Yeah, for sure. The Supreme hockey jersey he's wearing is so nice. If I had $800, I'd buy one instantly. I love
Jesus,
that hockey jersey.
Is it? It's I can't. It's not a team, is it?
No, it's by the brand Supreme.
Oh, I don't know what that brand is.
Oh, it's like a streetwear brand.
Oh, okay.
It's yeah, because he made it so popular in that SNL performance. Like it's a vintage piece now, an archive piece from 2012. But if you want to buy one, it'd be like $900.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
great performance on SNL.
Yes, I agree. And I thought I was about to say Josh Groban. I thought the John Mayer performance on SNL was better than the studio version. I actually liked the live version much better than the studio version.
Interesting. And the SNL performance is in only the second half of the song. And you on the studio version, you like the first half better. So that
I
is
think
interesting.
I just like the fact that it wasn't 9 minutes, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And I like there's a lot of guitar players on stage with them, so they're all doing very different things as well. So I thought the elements of the song was really interesting.
Yeah, and that's where the song is so good for me, is just the production and the layers of different sounds and instruments. So yeah, it's
cool.
it's a very, very good song in my eyes. Yeah, I'm happy we got to talk about it finally. I almost played this week 1, like episode 1 of the podcast, but I figured starting with a 9-minute long song might be a bit ambitious. So
I did like
Nights.
the other song. I did like Nights a lot more than I liked this song.
Yeah.
Cool. What song do you have for me for next week?
So next week, have you heard of the band Black Country New Road?
Nope.
All right. Well, we're going to listen to the song Concord by them. And
okay, cool.
I'm going to tell you right now, I cannot wait to record next week's episode.
Nice. Okay. Looking forward to it. Last week we listened to the Zootons. Was it last week or a couple weeks ago? Doing their version of Valerie, which was also an Amy Winehouse version. I decided I'm going to play you some Zootons because I really love this band. So we're going to do the Zootons song "Why Won't You Give Me Your Love" for next week.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it. I like their covers, I get the
original.
I like their original version of Valerie.
All right, let's get into this week in music history, and we got a couple of interesting facts coming up here. All right, in 1973, the year I was born, American singer-songwriter and actress Faith Evans was born. So she's 50 years old, and she is known as the widow of Notorious B.I.G. So let's listen to "I'll Be Missing You," Puff Daddy featuring Faith Evans.
After breath, I know you're still living your life after death.
Every move I make, every single day, every time I pray, I'll be missing you.
I fucking hate that song.
Wow, that's crazy because I was about 5 seconds away from calling that a classic.
Oh no, it is. It's a classic, but it's terrible.
Oh, I love it. I mean, I love Puff Daddy, so yeah.
Right. Do you know he apparently Sting makes like $2,000 a day from that song?
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Because obviously it's "Every Breath You Take" is heavily sampled.
So they didn't clear the sample?
They did, but royalties. I think he makes like $2,000 a day.
There's no way that song gets played
Daddy
that
because the music is sort of. The rapping's horrible, but the song is everything, right?
There's no way that song makes that much for him to get paid $2,000 a day.
That's what Sting claims.
There's no way. I refuse to believe that. Sting, you are a liar.
Yeah, I really hate that version of that song. It's really boring. Again, another boring hip hop song.
Oh, but Puff Daddy, so good.
You know, the other
P.
person
Diddy.
I really The other person I really hate is Mace, the most boring hip hop artist in the history of hip hop music.
Yeah, Mace is just good for a lot of punchlines came in rap songs about Mace, just because of like the whole he turned into a preacher thing. So he got made fun of after that really good in a lot of rap songs.
Yeah. Well, he made his truckload of money, so he's probably fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, God needs money, so I'm glad he's a preacher now, because that's very important in religion, the dollar. And in the year 2000, the year you were born, on this day, Aaliyah went to number 1 with her single "Try Again." So let's listen to "Try Again" by Aaliyah.
Tell all the boys I'll keep it low. If I say no, would you turn away or play me off, or would you stay up?
Another artist who died way too young, and
Yeah.
this is the reason I chose to listen to this song, because this became the first single in the US to go number 1 that was airplay only, so there was no commercial sales for this single. So it's the first time there was a number 1 song with no sales, just from the radio play.
Wow. So it got played a lot.
Well, that's a telling sign for what was about to come in the future, right? Because of the internet and streaming. So this was the start of it. So this was the first song to go number 1 without any sales.
Well, yeah, as you said, gone too soon. Rest in peace to Aaliyah. She's a legend for sure. And it's funny that it's an Aaliyah song this week, because one of my favorite Frank Ocean songs is "At Your Best You Are Love," which is a cover of an Aaliyah and the Isley Brothers song. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole, we don't have to get into it, but there's a whole history of Aaliyah and who's that awful guy who's in jail now?
One of the Isleys.
What's his name?
Yeah.
What's his name? Whatever his name is, yeah. The pedophile. Yeah.
Oh, R. Kelly.
R. Kelly, yeah. There's
Yeah,
he was with her when she was like 14 years old.
Yeah,
Bullshit, so R. Kelly's the worst. What are your plans for the rest of the week?
Well, probably going to take it easy. I've been super on the go recently, but I am hanging out with my dad this weekend, doing Father's Day, hang out a week early.
Cool.
I'm hoping to catch the Champions League final, and yeah, that's about it.
Nice. I'm off today and tomorrow. I'm photographing basketball teams in a little suburb called Springfield. So that's my job for the next couple of days. Just photographing basketball. So I don't actually get to see a game. It's like, the team photo. I'm just doing team photos. Yeah. So I think I'm photographing 21 teams today and 7 teams tomorrow.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna be busy.
I'll be busy for the next couple of days. Yeah, that's about it. How about you, Darren? What do you got going on?
Nothing exciting. Looking at cars.
So you decided to buy a car?
No, but I figure I should look at it in case it doesn't survive.
Okay, in case it doesn't survive. That's a good idea. Let's talk about our independent artists this week. They're a local Brisbane band called Locust Revival. And we're going to listen to a song called Good Grief. This is a classic example of a post-punk, I love Joy Division, early 80s. It's such a throwback, and it's so good to listen to. I love the droning guitars. I love the shoegazy element of it. So, let's listen to Good Grief, and thank you very much, guys. Actually, I don't know who's in the band, so I'll say thank you to the band for allowing us to play this song. So, gentlemen, we'll talk to you next week.
Make
You've been listening to Just Hit Play. To contact your hosts, Peter and Nick, or to be featured on an episode as musical talent, email justhitplay7300@gmail.com. Keep up to date with news and announcements by following on Instagram and Facebook, linked in the show notes. Subscribe on your favourite podcatcher to tune in next week for more sonic delights. And if you can't wait till then, check out the Just Hit playlist on Spotify, linked in the show notes. A special thanks to Braden Munch for the theme song, and thank you for listening.